All right, so it's time to make our bread. This bread is so delicious and fluffy, and it's not crumbly at all, and it's so low. It's very low in carbohydrates, like ideal on the keto diet, ideal on diabetic friendly diet, and it's so delicious. You can use it in everything you need to use bread for. So let's just dive in straight away. If it's your first time watching my channel, you want to subscribe so that when I upload videos like this, you'll be able to get it. Okay, if you're actually looking out for videos like this. So to make it easy, I have already measured out all my ingredients here because I don't want to waste your time at all. So let's get into it. Here is my scale. Let's just move this by the side. That is the blender we're going to be using. The first thing we're going to do is to measure out our flours. Okay, this is my very cute scale. It's like a bowl and it's a scale. I got it on Amazon in case you want to get it. So this is my scale I'm going to be using. The first thing that I want to put here is almond flour. Almond flour. This is almond flour. In case you want to know where you can get almond flour from, you don't know, I will put a link in my video and you can click and go straight away to that place. So I'm going to measure 240 grams of almond flour. Right, 240 grams of almond flour. Why should you use almond flour? It's very good for baking. It's very good to replace normal flour. The other flours, they contain gluten. Not many people are able to use gluten, and it's also high in starch. If you don't want to eat gluten, you can use almond flour for your baking. If you don't want to eat starch, you can eat almond flour for your baking. The next thing I want to add to this almond flour is flaxseed, ground flaxseed. So I'm going to zero out the scale, zero it out so that I can add flaxseed there. That's why I like this scale. So just pardon my scatter in the kitchen. Just pardon me, please. Okay, so I want to show you my flaxseed. This is flaxseed, but I will normally blend it up. So I prefer to use the blended one, and it's better to use the blended one. That's where you can get the best texture. I'm only going to be taking, turn it on again so it turns to 0. Remember, we already have the weight of the almond here. If you don't turn it to 0, you may not calculate properly. The next thing I want to add here is the almond flour. Adding the almond flour is just going to be 60 grams of almond flour. You have to watch it so that you don't add too much. Good, that's exactly 60 grams. This is 61 grams. It's fine. 1 gram isn't going to do any harm. Okay, and the next thing I want to add in this flour is baking powder. I normally just buy my baking powder online because it has to be gluten free for me because I don't eat gluten. So I buy I buy gluten free baking powder online. If you use normal baking powder, you can easily buy them online. It's okay, but me, I don't. And I will be adding here 1 teaspoon. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. This one is half a teaspoon. This one is half. So I'm going to take 2 of it. So 1 teaspoon. If you're using normal flour, that will be fine for you. 1, 2. Another thing that you may want to add will be salt. A little bit of salt. You may want to add a little bit of salt, or why is it a little bit, but just enough salt to taste for you. I will normally use like half a teaspoon of Celtic sea salt. This is the good quality salt that's high in minerals. Okay, so make sure that when you use salt, you're using good quality salt so that you can enjoy magnesium and all the minerals that comes with Celtic sea salt. So I'm taking that away because I don't need that one. And you can be very creative here. If you really like, it's your choice. You can be very creative here. What do I mean? You can add ginger powder. You can add garlic powder. You can even add cayenne powder if you like. And I'm just going to show you that now. So I'm going to spice my own up a little bit because it's winter. It's winter and I want a little bit of spice. So I'm going to be adding cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper is not even spicy at all. Cayenne pepper is not spicy. I like it. For me, it's not spicy because the African tongue is used to spice. Cayenne pepper is not just about spice. It's a pepper that is so good for so many other things, okay, in terms of health, right? But let me just mix this up for now. Don't mind me, sometimes it can look like I'm not coordinated in the kitchen, but I still love kitchen. Kitchen is still my favorite place to be. Just a minute. I plug this up. Oh, okay, sorry. All right, so I have, let me show you exactly what I have here now. You can see this is a mixture of almond flour, flaxseed, baking powder, and cayenne pepper and salt. That's what we have here. And then if you want to make it even better, something that I do is to add some sweetener. Why do I do that? I love the taste that I get. You don't have to add this one because it's really not necessary. And I'm only just adding three teaspoons, and that will give you just 1 tablespoon. Remember, this is half a teaspoon, okay? 3 teaspoons, that's all. I do that because by the time the taste of this sweetener matches with the salt, oh my God, you will love the taste. You will find out that you don't want to leave the kitchen because of this bread, because you just want to eat it. So let's do something here. I'm just going to mix it all up here because I just want the baking powder and all the things that I've added here to really mix in properly. That's all I'm doing there, right? That's that. Now we're going to put this aside because we need to whip the egg a little bit, not too much, but at least we need the egg to be whipped. This egg is, if you look at it, 400 mils. 400 mils, not up to half a liter, but you can do half a liter if you like. Sometimes I use only egg whites if that's all I've got. If not, I will just combine all of it together. I don't really mind. I like my eggs. So anything that uses eggs, you get me there. Low, any kind of baking that uses low carbohydrate flour and uses gluten-free, most of the time you always have to add enough eggs there, because eggs is going to help to give it that fluffiness. It's going to help to combine, going to help it bind together better. And because when you beat egg like we're doing it right now, you're beating the egg, that egg is going to help your bread to rise better. Okay, so I'm not over beating it. I'm just going to beat it until it's properly combined. That's all. Alright, so that's it. I'm not using very high speed. It's not needed. Okay, so if you ask me, that is just fine. That is just fine. We have some baking powder already. Okay, let's beat it until it's combined. Oh, it's fine. Let's beat it a little bit more because I really want this bread to be light and airy. That's what I like. I love bread that's light and airy. I don't like heavy breads. For me, I don't like heavy bread. But if you like heavy breads, you don't need to beat it this much. But I don't like heavy breads. I want my bread to be very light and fluffy. That's what I want. So I can just tear it easily. Okay. All right. Now we can see quite a lot of bubble. on our eggs. All these bubbles you see are going to be very helpful in raising the bread. All these bubbles you see. So the next thing, we're going to be adding in our flour mix now. We're going to be adding our flour mix in. If you like, you can add it all at once. But I always just like to add maybe in 2 batches, just to ensure that I don't get lumps. Stir it in, and then add the remaining flour mix and stir it in. Oh, just before I forget, the reason why we are using flaxseed in this bread is because, one, flaxseed is going to help the almond flour to combine together. Otherwise, you get a crumbling texture when you use just almond flour to bake. That's why I don't like almond bread just on their own. I always have to add something there that will help to bring it together. Then the next thing that I want to add now is our oil. We have our oil, which is 80 mils of oil. You can use your favorite oil. I'm using extra virgin olive oil here. Okay, I'm going to mix this one together now. That oil is going to help to give you the breadiness, if there's any English like that. The breadiness. Notice that the texture is coming together so nicely. And what can you see? The color of this thing is so beautiful because of the cayenne or cayenne, whatever. It's a type of chili, and it's so healthy for you. Very, very healthy for you, especially in this season. You want it for you. Cayenne is very healthy. If you want to know what cayenne is healthy for, maybe I'll do a video on that separately, just to make sure I don't make any health claims here. Remember, I'm a registered dietitian and I cannot make any health claims of anything online. Okay, so the last thing that we want to add now is apple cider vinegar, and this is just 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar. It's always so important to use apple cider vinegar in gluten-free, especially starch-free baking things, because it will help to assist the rising. And it also has its own taste that it will add to it. Can you see how simple it is to bake this bread? Or what do you think? Do you think it's difficult? I think it's very simple. And it's so creamy, you see? That's exactly what we're going to get. Exactly what we're going to get. This bread on now is ready to go in the oven right now. It's ready. So I'm going to put it in my pan. I'm going to put it in my pan. Okay, I have my pan here, which I've already put paper in. You don't have to, but I always do this because when it's baked, I want to find it very easy to lift it out of the pan. So I always like to do that. Now I'm going to pour it in the pan, and I will be baking it for the first 30 minutes. Open, and then another 15 minutes covered, just to prevent it from over browning. It's not like you have to, you really don't have to cover it, but that's how I love to bake my bread. Imagine if you had some chopped crispy bacon in this bread. Imagine. Or imagine if you had some sun-dried tomato chopped up in this bread. How do you think it would be like? Okay, so if you're like me, I don't like wasting this. I'm going to lick it up right now using a spatula. My spatula leaks. See? Watch that. Leaks. I'm just going to do that. Don't want to waste that. See? That can form a slice of bread. What do you think? Am I too stingy? Am I too stingy? Of course, there's nobody to feed with this in the sink. So why not? Why not? Why not? Good. Let's move this away so that we can handle this. Don't mind me about my clumsiness in the kitchen. It's fine. It's okay. It's your kitchen. You feel free to express yourself. Okay. Now, that's it. We are licking it all up. Licking it all up. Beautiful. So I'm not going to score this bread, like I'm not going to put lines into it, because why? My pan is deep enough. If it's going to rise, it's going to have space to rise into. But if you were using a smaller pan, then you probably want to put slits on it so that when you rise it, you will get into those spaces. But it's really not needed. I also love to see my bread having very smooth top. Okay, so that's that. This bread is ready for the oven right now. I'm going to, in case I forgot to mention, I already have my oven on at one. Oh, I thought I did. I didn't. Okay, we're going to on the oven. Going to bake this bread at 180. At 180, the oven is 180 degrees C. If you live somewhere that is not in UK or where you don't use C, centigrades, then yours may be Fahrenheit, but it wouldn't be 180, probably would be 370 or 375 F. But mine is, I use C here, so it's 180 C. So let's hold on briefly, just so that the oven can get hot a little bit. And then we'll put this in the oven, and I will be back to show you the outcome of this delicious bread. And then we can savor the deliciousness together. See you soon. So we're going to leave this bread for about 5 to 10 minutes to cool in the pan before we unmold it. But it's very solid and firm. I can take it out if I want to right now, but I always love to allow bread to rest for some time before taking it out from the oven. Okay, so you can already see the beauty of this bread, and the color is nice. The top is so smooth and beautiful, and it's looking appetizing. So I can't wait to see the texture of this bread when I cut into it. So let's unmold the bread. You take it out of the pan like that. Look at this perfect beauty. Beautiful, beautiful loaf of bread. Beautiful loaf of bread. Beautiful loaf of bread. What bread can be better than this? You should be able to get about 16 slices from this bread. Okay, that. It's not completely cold yet, but I've just unmolded it so that you can just savor and enjoy the sights of it. I can't wait. And if I would describe for you the aroma that is right here in the kitchen, it's so good. It's so good. So gorgeous. So gorgeous. These creases you see is because of the paper that I used in the pan. That's why you see all these creases. If you didn't use paper, if you used maybe a silicone pan, you didn't need to use paper, then you wouldn't see all those creases there. But who cares? Who cares about creases? Do you? I don't care. Look at that. Beautiful loaf of bread. Beautiful loaf of bread. Beautiful. So let's cut this beauty. Let's cut it. And should I? Okay, let's cut it from the middle. Let's cut it from the middle. Ooh. Look at the texture. Beautiful texture. Let me bring it very close to the camera so that you can see the beauty. You can see some smoke coming out. It's not perfectly very cool, but I just wanted you to see. Beautiful bread. Beautiful bread. All right, so let's do a slice. How do I do it so that okay, let's do a slice. Let's do a slice. I just want you to see the texture of this bread. See how beautiful this is. Imagine that you can eat lots of slices of this bread, and you will still not have eaten up to the carbohydrate you will normally get from one slice of normal bread. Yet, this contains more fiber, it contains more protein, it's more tasty. It's, I mean, I don't know how to describe it, guys. Make this bread and give me a feedback. Let me know what you think. Let me know. Okay, let me cut it open so you don't say, oh, open it up and taste it for us. Look at that. What more could you wish for? Sandwich? Yes, it will fit that. Toast it with butter? Delicious. Delicious. Okay. Delicious. I don't know if this is clear. Yeah, it's clearer now. See the texture? The texture? Nice. I don't know. They're not going to see me. Let me see myself. When you see me praying every single time, what do you think I'm doing? I don't joke with prayer, you know. Abi? Because I know that prayer works. All right. When I'm tasting this kind of bread, I will give praise to God for the inspiration, for making it possible that we can put things together to eat and be happy, irrespective of what condition we manage. Your mercies will last forever. Your love for me never runs out. Guys, wait for my music. It's coming out soon. All right. Bye, everybody. Bye. Make your bread and let me know what you think. Give me a feedback.